Ich get my shit in some way to that. I'm just too hot.
Was?
Ich get my shit in some way to that. I'm just too hot.
Fine, please. Gift of Zochana Levrach used to say when he was growing up, they used to call Sunday the Zuntik Shanda. This is why. A whole week, people don't learn. He was a halbatzar. But Zuntik, they don't go to work, and yet people don't learn. So Zuntik is allemaal given the Zuntik Shanda. I guess if you come here, it's the Zuntik Kiddush Hashem. Like people come to the mountains for Shabbos, Sundays is a short day, and to devote time for learning is a gewaltige Kveit Shemayim. And Zicha, a big schus for me to be here, and the Himshel help from she is Kaddish Shem Shemayim al Yadeinu. It's always for me challenging to think what to talk about in this Olam. This Olam I know already for many years is Nishna as Mekenlan and Melen Doichet. You know, some of us Kenlan is a halbatzah, but Elen Doichet, he knows Iberal. And what do you talk about that could keep an Olam that was Ligan and Lanin? So I want to talk about an Indian that's very Negeya. It's not usually learned. And once and for all, I want to try Bez Hashem, B'siyat T'shmai, Yimenei Menei Tistaya Milsa, to clarify. And that's the sugya of Tfillas Haderech. Tfillas Haderech, for some reason, is a lot of confusion. I go from here to Muncie, I'm not here, from the city to Muncie to Lakewood. I go from here in the mountains. Do you say it? Some people say it in Shema Koleinu, Mila Shmein Esra. When you go on a plane, do you say it? Are you allowed to say it? Do you have to say it? Somebody asked me, he goes every single day, he goes to Lakewood. Do you say it every single day? So we're going to try to discuss the sugya. It's not such a big sugya, and we can learn it properly. We'll have, Be'ez Hashem, we'll have the Clarkite. The Yesod of Tfillas Haderech is Gemara in Brachos Daf Chav Tesam Ad Beis. Very interesting. Eliyahu Hanavi told Rabbi Yehuda. So right away, Tfillas Haderech is from Eliyahu Hanavi Zochel HaToiv. A gewaltige Cheshivas. Kshat yoytzel derech, himolech b'kainech v'tzei. Before you travel, you have to bet rishus. The Baruch Shem is the meichem mitzadei gover. You have to ask from the master planner, should I go? Om Rabbi Yankiv, zu Tfillas Haderech. Note the lashon. This is Tfillas Haderech. Okay. So far, maybe it's only a Rabbi Yehuda. The Gemara says a Talmud Chacham needs special shmir. Maybe it's a din of Rabbi Yehuda. Dr. Maravaita, Om Rab Chizda. Kol hayoytzel derech. Me and you, everybody, tzarech l'spalal Tfillas Haderech. It's not only for Talmidei Chachamim, it's for every single Yid. The lashon tzarech, zok to say for Eretz Chemda, it's a regular chiyuv derabanan. It's a mitzvah derabanan. His lashon is, it's no different than Kriyas HaMegillah and Ner Chanukah. So Tfillas Haderech is not just advisable, recommendable, a good idea, which is it is. It's a chiyuv d'rabbanan to say Tfillas Haderech. What's the nusach? So the Gemara has a nusach a little shorter than our nusach, but basically it's two parts to it. First of all, we should be protected, and also v'sishlach bracha b'masa yod yodai demars we say yodeinu. Two parts to the Tfillas Haderech. What's the tachlis of Tfillas Haderech? So Pashit, if you look at the Yishalmi in Brachis Perik Dalid, Amerdik Yishalmi, Kol hadrachim b'cheskes sakana. You travel v'nishvi sakana. Zok the Yishalmi Rabbi Yoina, the Heilig Amoyer Rabbi Yoina, when he would travel, he would leave a tzavah for his family. I don't think he was very pessimistic, but he felt he's going Makkah Sakana, and we have to be prepared. Yidden daven for everything. Kolshke, when you go to Makkah Sakana, daven daven. So Pashtis, the chiyuv of Tfillas Haderech, is because Kol hadrachim b'cheskes sakana. Azayah Pashtis. I should mention the Mechaben Reish Yotes writes that by Svardim, Ad Hayoim, when they travel a long distance, they say Goimel. Sagt the Mechaber, but the Ashkenazim, they suffice with Tfillas Haderech, but Svardim say Goimel. And Halay Dovahu. when you travel and you feel cheskes sakana, you have to be careful. Sfardim say goimel. God, the Sfardim all say Tfillas Haderech besides goimel. But Ashkenazim l'chalapachis daf menzogin Tfillas Haderech. It's interesting. We find in the Torah Tfillas Haderech. By Yaakovinu mi'olakim imodi ushmarani b'derech hazeh. Yaakov said Tfillas Haderech. But the Tfillas Haderech has a Torah vort that Yosef also was very much aware of Tfillas Haderech. You find that when Yosef made his spiel with the brothers, they don't know who he was, and he said, okay, take it and go home. And then Yosef snuck the gvia, the becha, into their zeklach, and they left, and he told his people, hurry, go catch them, go catch those people that left. So what's happens, hurry? So this Vasemes, Yosef realized that if they leave the city and they say Tfillas Haderech, you can't catch them. They have the shmi of the Rebbeinu Shalom. So Yosef told his men, chap them before they leave the city. They didn't say Tfillas Haderech, and then we stand a chance. So Tfillas Haderech is a very choshev tefillah. It's a very important part of our traveling. I'll tell you a ma'aser Rav Shaul Brus used to say over. I'm not saying you could paskin if you're a dayan. Don't paskin based on this, but he said this was a psak in his shtetl in Europe. There was a yid, and the Hoiben yid, he was a volunteer. He collected money for Achnosas Kala. Tzaddik of a yid, Le'amas Kabel Pras. So much so, he was a balachrayis that he never put the money anyplace but in his pocket. He carried it him on all times. He didn't want to entrust anybody but himself. One day he was traveling, and he was held up by bandits. List of Mizuyin. Money of your life. No, what do? You give the money. Lamaisa was tzedakah money. But any child knows that he was a shoy machinam, and you put the Geneva Aveda, but Zicha, list the Mizuyin. But he was such an Erlich Yid, he wanted to hear from a Bezdin. You don't paskin on your own. So he went to the Bezdin, he told the story, so the Dayanim say, what's the Shaila? Okay, I want to make sure. He's walking out, one Dayan said, wait a minute, you said you were traveling. Did you say Tfillas Haderech? So he says, Grad, I didn't. Oy bazoi bista paisheya, and you have to pay the money. Now, again, I'm not saying in Chayshe Mishpat that's 100%, halamaisa, but a yid that lives with the Rebbeinu Shalom, you get a car, the brakes have to work, and you take an inspection. This is part of traveling. Kol hadrachim b'cheskes sakana. I would say it's almost suicide not to. No, I wouldn't say suicide, but it's definitely reckless. That's one reason at Tfillas Haderech. I want to tell you, there's another reason at Tfillas Haderech, and Pasha, since I learned this sugya, my Tfillas Haderech takes a different meaning. The Maharsha points out, if you look at the Nusach, there's a whole part of it about Hatzlacha. V'sishlach bracha v'hatzlacha v'chol ma'aseh yadeinu. V'sitneinu l'cheinu l'chesed l'rachem beinecha v'einei kol rayenu. Zok the Maharsha, a person doesn't travel for the fun of it. You travel on business, you travel for a shidduch, you travel for a job, you travel to go learn, whether it's all to learn, whatever it is, but a person, you go for a purpose. Daven also, you should be matzliach when you get to your destination. You're traveling in tomorrow morning to go to work. It's a good idea to have atzlach at work. I'm going to meet clients and customers and people, and I go to give a shia. I say this, and I have it in mind that I should be matzliach. Why not? It's there. I'm not saying extra words, but the Mashal learns from the Gemara. Again, if you look at the Nusach Gemara, a third of the Tfillas Haderech is we should have atzlach when I get there. So I'm not going to tell you to say new things, but you say what you're saying, say it with a bissel haaretz, and it has meaning. There's a third part of Tfillas Haderech which is kamat most mefurish. The Gemara, as I told you earlier, Eliyahu told Rav Yehuda, "Kishat yoytzel bladerech himolech b'koinech v'tzei." You have to ask Rishusam B'Yayim. You're going to Parasham. Is it a good idea? As I state in the Gemara, Freg the Shloach Kadosh. Okay, I ask Rishusam B'Yayim, how do I expect my response? Does a B'Yayim text, email, chveisus? I don't know. Where's the response? Zog the Shloach to the Ferish Gemara. The Gemara says, in Brachas, when he would daven, he said, Im tfilasish shkur b'fi. I knew the person's okay. Und ob nicht, is nicht gut. Sagt the Shla, if you say Tfillas Haderech and it goes good, you say Geschmack, go Gesundheit. If not, he says, you better be careful. He doesn't say don't go, but you better be careful. So if you want to avoid this problem, say it with kavanah. Say it properly, and the words are beautiful. Those are beautiful words. I mean, each word is it's a cushion. You know, there's sakonis, I want to be safe, I want to matzliach. That's Tfillas Haderech. Who's chayiv in Tfillas Haderech? So someone once asked me what be'ena was a lamdish shayla. Women, steht in Magen Avram, are, although women are chayiv in Tfillah, they state in the Mishnah and Brachas, but the Magen Avram says they're only chayiv in one Tfillah a day. And more than that, and I'm old, they didn't daven more, whatever. So he says, Noshim, they daven, whatever they daven in the morning, they're not chayiv in Tfillas Haderech. So I told him, you're right in Yisoid, then I'm a chayiv in Mincha, like the Magen Avram, I'm a chayiv in Mincha Ma'ariv, but atu Noshi lo yibai shmira, how could they go without shmir? The Gemara says in Kedusha, the Lashon, atu Noshi lo yibai chay legabi mezuzah, and we say it legabi Tfillas Haderech. But it's not me, the Levushay Mordechai, the Mother Rav Zechayna Levracha, he mamash tells to this Gemara that atu Noshi lo yibai shmira, and therefore the chay. But it was interessant, we can say a bisschen zulegen, the El Yerabba in Siman Reish Lametes writes that the Magen Avram says Noshim, just like Noshim Apata from Krishma, the Pasha Apata from Krishma Alamita, because it's his man Grama. Zokt El Yerabba is not right. Because Krishma Alamita is Al Shmira, and Atugavr Boy Shmira Noshi Loi. So Gabi Krishma Alamita Noshim Achayiv. Tfillas Haderech, Melot Zachayin, Amokim Sakona, you need Hatzlacha, Noshim do say Tfillas Haderech. Le'aleinu should never be negeya, but it's a very important shaila for us. Someone, Le'aleinu, is going to Kfura, is going for Kfura. He's an Einin, Le'aleinu, for one of the Shiva Krayim. It's very negeya, the basic chorus is in New Jersey, or in Eretz Yisrael, Nachtetzu. He's traveling a distance that others would say Tfillas Haderech. But he starts to think, what does he do? An Einen didn't daven shachas that day. If he eats, he doesn't bench. Even the rice he doesn't do. Does he say Tfillas Haderech? So Zok the Lev Yehuda Lev Tzirlison, and Echanamin. If he's potter of the rice of benching, he's potter from Tfillas Haderech. Va'oid Zok der Shluchei Mitzvah Einen Nizoikin. He's going to Vidvar Mitzvah, and Einen is potter from Tfillas Haderech. As I Zokt. But Tainet, the Halach Bamitecha, that was the Rebbetzina Rav's brother, the Valde Gagoyin, and he says, the whole Yisoid is Nishtamis. First of all, is that true in Halacha, that when you go for a mitzvah, you don't say Tfillas Haderech? We should never go on Levayis, but we should always go off Simchas. If you go to a Chasana, you don't say Tfillas Haderech? If you go visit parents, or visit a Rebbe, you don't say Tfillas Haderech? Shluchei Mitzvah Ein Nezaikin, but the same Chazal say, Shchichi Azeka, you got to be careful. Derech is Shchichi Azeka. So the whole Yesoid, the assumption that Shluchei Mitzvah Nezaikin applies is not emes. But more than that, and that was my point, it's a gewaltige insight into Tfillas Haderech. Zok the Halach Bamitecha, an Einen Le'aleinu eats and doesn't bench. But Re'ez Pella, an Einen washes Negel in the morning, or without a bracha. He washes Netilas Yadayim without a bracha, and he even washes Mayim Achronim. So, Yitziva Ba'ara Ugyra B'Shmei Shmaya, he doesn't bench at the rice and he's busy with Mayim Achronim. Zokti Alach Bamitecha, whatever Hatzatam with Sakana, he doesn't avoid. No, was? Oh, very good. Ken Zayin. If they Ken Zayin, I was thinking that's Ken Zayin. Yeah, I thought of it. It could be. But 1 second. Zok Alach Bamitecha, so Tfillas Haderech Hatzatam with Sakana, he has to say. So he says, you'll be alarmed and a state in Kafachayim that he washes Tfillas Haderech but he doesn't make a bracha. So he says, that's because the etzem shmir is the netila. The bracha is not a mitzvah, and he's part of our mitzvahs. But here at Tfillas Haderech, the bracha guf is the shmira. So you can't say it without a bracha, because then he doesn't have the shmira. So if it's also shmira, he has to say it. That's a good question. I have to look in. I was thinking, that's a good ha'or, as I was saying it. So maybe taka and echanami. And if I'm wrong, it's not the person. Was? Oh, Zeya good. Zeya good. Good Mechavim. Shlomo Zalman Oyevach in Shmir Shabbos quotes this and says he could. Why does he have to say it? Let someone else be moitzi him. Very good. But it's a hard time to understand. Because vivayt yoyt shemei ka'oina, so you're doing a mitzvah. The shemei has the same mitzvah as the oina. So what are you gaining? Shemei is not a joke. Right? If he's part from Tfillas Haderech, so shemei ka'oina, there is a sheet to grada. We don't pass this way. The tzlach holds that shemei ka'oina, and lamaisa you didn't need the bracha. It's a bracha l'batola. Okay, it's not a bracha. But Lagabi Hilchas Oinein, what's the chiluk if he says it or not? If he's yoyt, he's yoyt. Okay, but let's leave that shayla. We hope we should have negeya. Let me tell you one more shayla of who's negeya, and Taka we have some of them are right here. Those Malachei Rachim Hatzola members, and they run a call Shabbos weekday. Here's the shayla. Granted, the city is not so negeya, but let's say you have to go on a call in a distance on Shabbos that you would say Tfillas Haderech during the week. So you start thinking, what do I do? Shabbos up, when it's can't tefillas. Do I say Tfillas Haderech? I don't say Shmai Nesser. So here, the Paiskim say, B'li Safek, Avari has to say. Why? Because you don't say Tfillah, they state in Shulchan Aruch and Reish Peiches, you don't say Tfillas unless it's a Shas Tzara. Machabes is but a Shas Tzara, Mazikin, or Marian, Ala Tzaras. No, if you're going on Makim Sakana, that's Mazakin Tfillas Haderech. So a Tzala member, if he does to drive on Shabbos or Yom Tov, Avada said Tfillas Haderech.
He doesn't have the time.
Okay, so that of course, don't stop being a tzaddik.
You're not going to stop.
No, you don't have to stop. You don't have to stop. Make it. You don't have to stop.
When is he going to say it? If you
Whenever you could say.
Harris Hospital, you're not going to stop and say it.
Okay, we're going to get to Harris Hospital. So you're right. I should have mentioned that. We're talking about people like you that understand what I mean. You don't start, until they, please don't die. I have to stop and say Tfillas Haderech. He has to have a bus. Yeah. It's like the sheikhet, that the imam when he said the bracha, the whole world shook. And by the time he finished the bracha, the chicken ran away. The chicken says, "This guy's a meshugah. Let me get out of here." So I'm talking to people that have seichel. Thank you. I mean, I should have mentioned that, but people that have experience know that when you have time, when you're driving, and it's not the mamash of the moment.
To drive, but not maybe.
No,
not, maybe
someone needs care in the hospital.
If you are in the back of the ambulance, and if you have
or if someone has to go to the hospital, soon, so you have to go in. It's not emergent. Now I want to tell you one chakira that's going to give us enough for the rest of the year. Okay, people like a chakira. Here's my shayla. Tfillas Haderech, we call it Tfillas Haderech. Is it taka a tefillah, or is it a bracha? Now let me explain. We said Sfardim say goimel. Goimel is a bracha. Birchas hagoim. Is Tfillas Haderech a sort goimel, a bracha, or is it a tefillah? Now, the emphasis, I'm saying this chakir, but I don't understand it, but I'll say it anyhow. You look in the Siddur, now today many people, the Siddur go on the Paisik Achron. By the way, you look in the Siddur, and after Mincha, all the brachos pratius, the ocean, Taiva Meitiv, Goimel, and Punk there, you'll have Tfillas Haderech. Is the Siddur trying to say that Tfillas Haderech is a bracha? The emphasis it has makes no sense to say Tfillas Haderech is a bracha. First of all, the Gemara calls it Tfillas Haderech. Va'oid is state in the Gemara in the Nusach a tefillah for Shmirim and Haderech, Hatzlacha b'derech. Also, Rabbi Yanka Kamenetsky in the Sefer writes, let's say after the shir, doesn't write this, I'm saying, give an example. Let's say after the shir, you like the sugya, I want to learn Hilchas Tfillas Haderech this afternoon. I have time. Where would you find Hilchas Tfillas Haderech? So Reish Appel. From Reish Yutes on. Reish Yutes is Goimel. All the way till Reish Mem, till Reish Lamed Gimel, which is a Chazmayev, is all brachas pratiyos. Shechionu, Ateva Meitiv, mountains, Harim Gavoyis, Birch Zachama. It's not there. Where is Hilchas Tfillas Haderech? Siman Kuf Yud. Kuf Yud is smack in the middle of Hilchas Tefillah. Because it's a Tefillah, it's not a bracha. Va'oid, the Torah has a big kasha. Every bracha begins with a Baruch HaTorah. Tfillas Haderech doesn't. So the Maram Rutenberg says it's an eitzah, eat something, or whatever it is. Okay. In Shulchan Aruch makes honorable mention of this Maram Rutenberg, but it's not Miyakid the Din. Frag the Tur, so why is it no Baruch? Zok the Tur, a bracha has to start with a Baruch. A tefillah doesn't. So Minei Ubei, we see that it's not a bracha. And the Chari, a better raya, Kol bracha she'ein ba shemu malchus ein a bracha. Frag the Sharet Tzin and Simon Reish Lam and Tzivkot and Tes. Why do we end Baruch Atah Hashem Shemei Tefillah? Where's the malchus? So the Sharet Tzin, it's Pashut. Because Tfillas Haderech is not a bracha, it's a tefillah. What do you say? Baruch Atah Hashem Chanam Arba L'Sloyach. Baruch Atah Hashem Shemei Tefillah. So Minei Ubei, we see Tfillas Haderech is not a tefillah, a bracha, it's a tefillah. Especially, we'll soon see those that put it into Shema Koleinu. That was the meaning of the Divrei Chaim, the San Zerav. You don't put a bracha into Shema Koleinu. We'll sign that it has a shaychus to tefillah. But Rabbi say, why do I say this? I'll tell you a few nafkaminis neged to every single time. One of the most commonly asked questions is, I'm traveling to the city with my family, with a few people, a couple. I'm going with a busload of campers, a bachrim and yeshiva. Does one say the bracha, the tefillah, and moitzi everybody? Or should each say their own? So the general klal, we state in the Mishnah brachas in Shulchan Aruch, a bracha we say, B'roiv Om Hadras Melech. Ideally, as a dav zayin, one makes a kiddush, we'll soon see why it's not yet, it was kiddush and moitzi everybody else. One makes a moitzi and moitzi everybody else. The one exception, state in Yerushalmi, in Rosh Hashanah, Perek Daled, Halacha Gimel, tefillah. Tefillah, halavai shispal adam kol hayom kulay, you have to daven for yourself. Tefillah is very personal. I have my needs, you have your needs. My needs are not your needs. You're davening for one thing, I need something else. Tefillah daven alein davening. Unless you're in a baki or a zoy state in the Shulchan Aruch, the Paiskim say this. Unless you're in a baki, you can't be yait to shemei ka'omer. Now, of course, Chazaras Hashat was for the ein a baki, but b'yisai tefillah, everybody has to daven. So Rabbi Yankov Kamenetsky in his Sefer said that's why he always said, you go with a tzibur, each should say their own Tfillas Haderech. It's not a bracha, it's a tefillah. That's his understanding. Now, Grada, I know Rebelski used to say this, let's say you're going with women or children and say it on your own. They're not going to do it. They don't have a sit, they don't know it by heart, they're verspielt. Then they might be the Einei Baki, and you better be mitzi them. Because if so if you're afraid that the other family members, especially the women, the girls, won't say it, or even young boys, so what I do, I say, I'm saying it out loud, I'll say it slowly, I'll say it from a siddur, you could say along with me, that's better, and you to yourself. If you're afraid to say it, whatever, I'll be yait to Shemei Kohen. But one thing I want to mention, the minute was Mi'ikridin, why not? You're right. Avada, why not? No, tefillah ziyah mechiyev. We said tefillah nash mechayev and tefillah. Tefillah, yeah. Now, one thing I want to say, especially for Chassidim, they follow the meaning of the Rav. Mr. Brewer quotes it twice, Grada, that even though bi'ikah we try to be Roy Madras Melech, but the Rav in his times write this, and Mr. Brewer says it, and today it's even worse. We have a very shvacha concentration. We don't listen well. Someone's making kiddush and you're listening. In the middle of kiddush you take off, you trip somebody, you fly, whatever, but you're not focused. So the Rav and Mr. Brewer says, today, better make your own brachas. And that's not going to mean, especially by Chassidim. So I say, Maduch, when you're sitting kiddush by the Shabbos Suda, you don't concentrate. When you're sitting in a car or a bus, it's very hard to listen to Yenim. It's certainly advisable to say your own. But again, if someone doesn't want, you could say it and be mitzi them. Now, let me tell you another very, very important nafkamina. Let's say I'm driving. I know exactly I'm going, let's say from here to Harris. I'm not sure if it's chayiv and Tfillas Haderech. I asked the Rav, he says, Suffolk. I'm not saying yet, we'll soon see why. But let's say it's a Suffolk. What do you do, Suffolk Tfillas Haderech? So this is another beautiful nafkamina. Because when it comes to brachas, the klal is Suffolk brachas lahakol. Don't say it. But it comes to tefillah, state in Gemara, the Mechaben Kuf Zayin quotes this, Suffolk yispal, Suffolk lo yispal, daf men ibe davenim. Why? Halazvai yispal adam kol hayom kulei. Zok the Magen Avram, even if you hold Tfillas the Rabbanon, and it's Sofik the Rabbanon, Samach Nishtois. But Tfillah, daven a ganze Tag. You don't want to daven the whole day, but at least daven right. Now, how someone doesn't know if he davened, I don't know. I stopped asking questions how things happen. If Chazon Ish had a suffix, he wasn't sure if he ate. We have sveikis, I don't know if I benched, but the eating episode I think we seem to know v'mahalt. But anyhow, suffix is spalal, daf min daven. So Rabbi Yanki says, even if you're going to tell me Tfillas Haderech is not a suffix in mechuyev. Keep that in mind when we get to Lamaisa about going to Muncie Lakewood. In the worst scenario, even suffix you have to daven. One more point I wanted to mention. Someone asked me, he traveled.
Saying it by daven and by Vanessa, there's no problem.
We're going to get to that. Okay. Someone travels every day, let's say to Lakewood or Muncie, and he's moided that you have to Tfillas Haderech. But he asked me, every day I have to Tfillas Haderech? So I asked him, do you want to live every day? Only Monday and Thursdays, So I said, you know where you're coming from? Regarding brachos haidah, then it's totally in 30 days. You see the ocean, Haram Gavoyis. You don't see a chava for a whole year, 30 days, whatever it is. There is totally in the simcha, the spilus that you see. So then, if you see it, if you travel every day, you pass the Atlantic Ocean, you don't make a bracha. Once in 30 days, there's a spilus. When it's Hatzatamit Haidah, then it's totally in 30 days. But this is a tefillah. We daven 3 times a day, not once a day. So now you're going Makam Sakana every single day. So it's by me as Pashut that every single day daven Zog and Tfillas Haderech.
And why then if you go on a trip and come back the same day?
Very good. Because the tefillah helps for one day, not one trip. If I drive from here to Kennedy Airport and I take a flight, the Tfillah Haderech goes a whole day. The day ends when you go to sleep and wake up the next morning. I could catch a flight and another flight. Tfillas Haderech is like one day, a chunk. So even if you don't say V'sach Zveinu L'Vayseinu L'Shalom, it goes for that day. That's a good kash. That's a whole different sugya. But that's klot.
We go to Eretz Yisrael. You say when you wake up and on the flight again.
That's a good question. If it's the same flight and nothing changed, then it covers the new day. But the same, once you change flights, one change, for sure, then you make it. The new day basically is told. But I'm going to get to that a little later. I'm only first finished. But definitely, there's nothing to talk about. Tfillas Haderech daf mazogin yedin tug. Now,
on the connecting flight, you say it twice?
No. He said you left Eretz Yisrael at 10 o'clock at night, and the next day you come. So then it goes for the whole day. But if you have a connecting flight, a new day is a new chiyuv. Now the big question, and I would like you to help me because suffix there's a suffix here. Let's clarify once and for all. I go from Brooklyn to Muncie, from Brooklyn to Lakewood. I guess that's Brooklyn to Passaic. I go from here to Monticello. Do I say Tfillas Haderech? In other words, when do we say it or not? So there is a lot of confusion out there. How could I say it? There are houses along the way. So, Baruch Hashem, we have a Reicha Torah. Let's learn it. We'll learn together the Sugya, Minei U'Minei Tistayimils. Zoktima and Brachas Daf Lamed. Amos Matzli. In other words, Gemara is saying, bottom line. Tachlis. When do I say it? Zoktima Mishashem Mahalach Baderech. Whenever you travel. For Ad Kama, Mamish, the Gemara is getting to our point. Ad Parsa. Tfillas Haderech is totally in Parsa. So, for all practical purposes, a Parsa is Daled Mil. It's between 2.5 or 2.7 miles. I'm going to say 3 miles, like the Meichel, because it's too long for me to say 2.7. 3 miles. You go 3 miles, you say Tfillas Haderech. Now, what does that mean? I go from here to South Fallsburg, it's 3 miles. So Rashi, no, you made a mistake. Ad Parsa means you're traveling from here to the city. But you better say it in the first Parsa. The first 3 miles you have to say it. If you waited and now you're holding the 4th mile, of Azmanai Batal Karbani. As I said Rashi. Freg the Rosh, what's going on here? If you still have a derech of sakana, you could say it as that. Just like you put on tefillin in the morning, you've got to make a bracha. You put it on kozman, you're wearing it. Why is tefillas a derech different? Zoktim iri, and we should appreciate that Rashi is Rabban Shal Yisrael, unser Rebbe. Rashi knew this. Zoktim iri, Rashi learned that one of the main reasons that tefillas a derech is himalach b'kainech v'tzei. You're asking permission to go. You're on the road and then you're asking permission. It's like the child that asks, I saw a very good shmaka Danish in the freezer. Could I eat that? So mother says, really, I'll save it for Shabbos. But okay, you could have it. He goes, good, I ate it already. You wake up after you left, you ask Rishus. Rashi held that's Likuva. But the Maisa, we don't pass like Rashi. Hagam the Ramah is choishish for Rashi. And the Ramah says, make sure you say it in the first parsa. Don't delay. Say it right away, because after according to Rashi, you can't say it. We pass it like the Rosh, the Bahag. Rashi quotes the Bahag himself. Not parsa, not means till when, but what's the minimum distance to say Tfillas Haderech? And the answer is 3 miles. We'll soon see what I mean 3 miles. But as I state in Rashi, the Rebbeinu Yoina and the Rosh say something very, very clear, which needs a husband. Ad parsa means when you leave the city and you're traveling a parsa, then you say Tfillas Haderech. So kederech harishayim kala achayad, very bekitza, they varv grois chedushin. In the city, no Tfillas Haderech. The outer perimeter of the city, oichet nish. When you leave a parsa, then you say Tfillas Haderech. What's the pshat? So that's the beauty of learning halacha properly. You have to understand their lifestyle. They didn't have communication. They didn't have walkie-talkies, texting, all these things, In the city was safe. Close to the city was a bisala, a little bit safe. But once you left the city, you in the woods. Listim and Chayis Rois galore. In the city is not a Makam Sakana. There's no Tfillas Haderech. Close enough to the city, you can run back as Eichid good. But once you left the Paris, today, just many years ago, a girl was lost in Connecticut and half a Kleiser were looking for her. Because of communication, in those days, a person got lost, no one knew where he was, how he was, who he was. So if the Chiyav till there is Sakana, the city and the Paris around was not Sakanatic. So it's very mistaken when you go deep in the woods, dan dafman good daven. That's the pshat in the Paris. Okay, comes again the Machtza Shekel. And he says, but let's say you have a house, another house, as long as it's Toich Parsa, as long as it's Ayanam is one to the other, just like in Hilchas Erevin, the city extends, so too in Hilchas Tfillas Haderech. Oh, so we found the Haida Damri she houses along the way. Good, fine. What's interessant is the Taz, right? Let's say you're traveling, say Tfillas Haderech in the city before you leave. Sagt the Magen Avram, sagt Mishnah Berurah, it's not true. If there's no sakana, there's no chalais chiyav. You have to leave the city and then say Tfillas Haderech. Okay. Now let me ask you a simple question. Let's put ourselves back in time. I'm going to pick him. What? There has to be chalais chiyav. The Taz learned that you're saying, if I know I'm traveling, I want to say the tefillah. But if you're still in the city, there's no sakana. I'm going to pick an example. Pardon me, it's a Litvish example, but that's what I know. Let's say you're learning in Mir, in Poland, okay? And you go to Baranovich, which is not so far, okay? Do I say Tfillas Haderech? I walked. Do I say Tfillas Haderech? Why not? Now, is it a different country? No. Is it different? I don't know if they had states, I don't know what they had, Mir and Baranovich. But you went from place to place, I went through the woods, I went on the deserted roads, I said, right? Right? So far so good? Okay. Now let me ask you a question. Tyree, let me ask you a question. Let's say I decide, I don't want to say it. I'm not sure. Mir and Baranovich. I'm going to say it in Shema Kaleinu and Shemay Nesser. Is that a good idea? Can't be. You're not Yaitza. Perfect what? Good idea. Terrible idea. Where do you daven Shemay Nesser? Now, some people in daven Shemay Nesser, they're already traveling, right? But most people, they daven in Bismedjish. Okay? Let's say this is the Mir Bismedjish, okay? And I'm davening mincha, right? So I'm in Mil Shmai Nesra in a city. I'm at Yaitza. How can I say Shema Kaleinu?
By Shema Kaleinu, you can say any tefillah.
I know.
You're saying.
But I wasn't Yaitza Tfillas Haderech. In Gemara state Tfillas Haderech, and you say Shema Kol. Now listen, I know all about the Bechayim and the Teres. I know about. I'm going to get to Shema Kol soon.
You say it's a 9 the Chayin, the Rach, B'nei Chvar, Gam, Sif,
Were you Yoitzi Yechiv?
What?
Were you Yoitzi Yechiv? According to Mishnah Berurah, because you're in the city, you're not Yoitzi. You have to say it again. Reb Chaim Kanievsky said, if you say it in Shemoneh Esrei, you're not Yoitzi, you have to say it again. And again, I know the Reb Chaim said it. I'm going to get to that soon. But let me just present the Shayr. You're not Yoitzi. You're in the city, like the Tazi Yoitzi, but not like the Paiskim. So you say it, you have to say it. Okay, I saw the Satmar Rav. I saw this Rabbi Harpanis quotes Satmar Rav. If someone says Shema Koleinu and he's going on a plane, let him say it again when he gets on the plane, because you're not Yoitzi in Shema Koleinu. Because the Gemara said to say a bracha. Why are you jollifing with the Gemara's a bracha? Now,
But you're saying it's a tefillah, not a bracha.
tefillah has to be when I'm choyev. If I say it together with a mapel and then I'm traveling the next day, am I yoitza? So why during Shachris when I'm traveling after Shachris? I'm not yoitza. So let me tell you, Rabbi Zev, I spent a lot of time. I travel all the time, and I want to know once and for all. I'm telling you the 3 svaras that people say today is different, and then you'll tell me and you'll do whatever you want. You want to say Shema Koleinu? It's a free country. I have no problem. Let me just present what I looked me pisai from the svarim. I spoke to people. I asked people. This is what I found. The Tfillas Haderech, one of the Gedolei Eretz Yisrael, Rabbi Chaim Na, Rabbi Zalman Auerbach in the Tshuva, have one problem with Heintige Tfillas Haderech, and that is, since the thrust of the nusach is oyev, v'oyev, and listed v'chayis rois b'derech, that is not negeya in our general highway travels. Okay. Hey, wait. So wait. Yeah. Wait. This is what they say. Now,
when he's on a plane, what is Tash Chayis Rosh? You're sitting next to a lady, is Chayis.
Okay, good, fine. So let me tell you. One second. This is what they say. If the Gemara's nusach doesn't stim, it doesn't stim. Now, let me first tell you that the Minchas Elazar in the Sefer spells out those that don't say in Heintige Automobilen, Sheke Hevel Yifta PM, a car has more sakana than any Alista Mechayis Rois. The Gemara just chose a mashal, but Kol Hadrachim B'Cheske Sakana. The Steipler said this, and the Kloisenberger said this, in 2 different parts of the world, that if Chazal would have had cars in their days, they would have asked it as Nishmatem Oilan Afshei Seichem. It's a sakana. I don't want to remind you, but there are more fatalities driving than flying. That's for sure. So who said it has to be an sakana? But I want to tell you, a little different. Maybe it's machlokes with the Tzelem Rav. Aaron Kotler once said, "What's shot in Chayis Rois?" He says it's truck drivers. So I once said this in a shir, and he stood up. He had a beard this long. He says, "I'm moicha." Now we had a big island by the shir. I says, "Okay, I'm sorry. Be moicha." He says, "I'm a truck driver, and you know the Chayis Rois are? When I'm driving along and a small car cuts me off, he's the Chayis Rois. You know what it means steering an 18-wheel tractor trailer when a car cuts you up? So we'll say it's a machlok is what you want to have kavana. The lady next to you, the small car, the truck driver, but there's Chayis Rois out there, right? Maybe they're hoylach al shnayim at arba. But one second. Chayis Rois in the mountains, you have deer. That's a big sakana. So it's very hard for me to understand that just because oyev v'oyev b'derech doesn't stim, but that doesn't mean we don't say Tfillas Haderech. That's one. Now, the truth is when you get a ticket, $175, you say it's highway robbery, you have listim also. So you have everything you want. I once said to somebody else, so someone told me, he said, it happened in Borough. He swore to me. He was waiting by a light, in front of him was a truck, and the truck was a delivery truck, and Goyim jumped out of a car on the side, opened the back, and started taking things. I guess the price can't be beat. The mom is taking things. Yenam's truck. This only happened in our neighborhood. So the fella, he started beeping his horn. He took out a gun and says, "If you beep that horn again, I'm going to shoot you." So one guy is shooting him, and one guy is taking out the stuff from a truck. Imagine that, he's helping delivery. So this list them all over the place. Stay away. That's one. Problem number 2 is people say there are houses along the way. Okay? Which is true. Are there houses 70 amas? How much is 70 amas? At most. The biggest, 140 feet. How much is this base measures? What is it, maybe 60 feet? 80? Whatever. 140 houses, 70 amas, one next to the other. But more than that, the Bialoch already writes, Rav Wosner writes, the Stark Videtog, house along the way only was a manda'ama in Yenet Zeiten. Because since the sakana was leaving the city and the safety of the city, so houses one along the way extended the safety of the city. Today the sakana is not listed mechayis, right? It's the driving. The Chazon Ish says if it would be up to him, I would say Tfillas Haderech even in the shtat, like we said earlier. Because the sakana of driving in the city is worse, they say, than highway driving. Most accidents happen close to home, they say. So the sakana really would be in the city, I should say. Chazal say, you have to wait till you leave the city. But once you left the city, the sakana is not listed mechayis, right? It's accidents. Accidents doesn't help houses. So the whole house along the way doesn't apply to our sakana. So that is really something Rav Wosner says there's no suffix bedava. You're allowed to say it as soon as you leave the city, even if there are houses all along the way. The third tzad is something you have to think about because it's a starker time. I told you that Tfillas Haderech is a parsa, 3 miles. The Mishnah Berurah in Siman Kuf Samach Dalet Hilchos Netilas Yadayim, the Mechaber there says that when you don't have water and you're traveling, you can't just eat because you have no water. You have to travel a parsa in front of you and get water, and then you could eat. If there's no water, even a parsa, you're allowed to eat without water. So up to Mishnah Berurah, was meint is parsa? Parsa is ayin beis minut, 72 minutes. Gewalt. I thought a parsa is 3 miles. The answer is they're both true. A parsa is 3 miles walking. Takes to walk 3 miles, 72 minutes. But driving 3 miles is 3 minutes. So now we have a shayla. When we said parsa tak is chiyuv, and parsa is dalamil 3 miles. Is that distance 3 miles period? So from here, South Waldsburg, I have to say, or is it the time of a parsa 72 minutes? So when I go to Muncie from Brooklyn, and without traffic is less than 72 minutes, you don't say Tfillas Haderech. From the Tfillas Haderech, Mishnah Berurah is before 72 minutes. Oy bazoi, when I go to Muncie, or maybe Lakewood, maybe I don't say Tfillas Haderech. But it's not true. Because the Mishnah Berurah himself in Siman Kuf Yud, Hilchos Tfillas Haderech, writes beferish that when you go on a train, Mesilas Barzel, which he had in his times, as long as you travel 1 parsa, you say Tfillas Haderech. Trains went faster than cars. Vais Tchayis, they got be Tfillas Haderech, it's totally in time, not in distance, not time. But now we have a stira. Ilagabi Tfillas Haderech, Mr. Berurah says it's totally in time, so why by Tfillas Haderech is totally in distance? Teretz is the Fidarein, what's Masik Midrash. Lagabi Tfillas Haderech, it's totally in Tircha. Tircha is not distance. If I drive fast, so it's only 3 minutes, and if he walks 72 minutes, it's lots of seichel. So the Gabi Tirch, it's totally in, is a set time. But Tfillas Haderech is totally, once you left the city, the safety of the city, it's the outer perimeter of a parsa that's still safe, that's totally in distance, not totally in time. Once you left the safety of the city, you left the safety of the city. Kamat, all the Paiskim say Lagabi Tfillas Haderech, like the Mishnah Berurah said, is totally in distance, not time. Okay, Ravad Yosef, a Svardim, he says you go with 72 minutes. Like that psak, you don't say it, you go to Muncie. But the Didan, Mishnah Berurah, we follow Mishnah Berurah's psak, and as a Mistavet Tuva, 3 miles is Mechayev Tfillas Haderech.
Why not?
Right?
Why not?
Oh, wait, we get there. So let me go in order, okay? Lamaisa, I'm going to tell you. Even if you have a suffix Tfillas Haderech is the chiyuv. Rabbi Yashiv was once asked when you go from Yishalayim to Bnei Brak, which is less than 72 minutes, you say Tfillas Haderech. So he says, I do, and he said a gewaldige sheine chiddush. Not his chiddush, Pnei Yeshua is a chiddush. Pnei Yeshua writes twice in Masechta Brachas. Let's say a person is holding in a very critical moment. Let's say he's in a business deal. He can make big or he can lose big. Or a shidduch, or whatever it is. He needs Rachmei Shemayim. So up to Pnei Yeshua, Belisham Safik, you could say a tefillah you could compose your own tefillah, b'shem u'malchus. There's no such thing as a tefillas shav rachman al-itzlan. If you mean it, the Rebbeinu Shalom is there 24/7. Halavai shishbal kodayim kula. A bracha levatala does pass nicht. But tefillah, if you mean it, the Rebbeinu Shalom is there. Gat shemei tefillah is kol peh. The Pnei Yeshua said you're allowed to say a tefillah, and there's no suffix at all the gabi the shem u'malchus. Zakar Bayasha, he says even if you hold that you're part of Tfillas Haderech, if you're uneasy about traveling, you could say lechatchila b'shem u'malchus. In fact, so that's why an Oinen could also say it. Oinen can't do mitzvahs, but if he feels a need to daven, he feels to bracha, he could daven. Tfillas Haderech is a tefillah. So Rabbi Yankiv was saying, Safek Tfillas Haderech meg mezagin. Rabbi Yankiv says, even if Vadai not to say it, you're allowed to say it. So now I ask you, should we throw around Tfillas Haderech Hazoi, kol achayad, don't say it, do say it? I'll be honest, I travel a lot because my shiur, I go to Monsey Lakewood, and I never said it. I said it in Shema Koleinu because everybody else did it. Housing. I said, wait a second, let's look into it. Let's look into it. I learned the sugya, and now I say it regularly. Now, the Divrei Chaim didn't say it, and others didn't say it. Maybe they still had a suf, maybe they held 72 minutes, maybe they held this, they held that. But one thing I will say, lipata b'li klum efsha. A person's traveling, if he has a trapul seichel, you don't travel without saying. Now, there are two alternatives if for some reason you don't want to say it. I don't know why we shouldn't say it. I say it. I think it makes sense. Vadai suffix, but to say it. One alternative is Shema Koleinu. There's a big mile in Shema Koleinu that, for those who are not familiar, what's Shema Koleinu? Because the chesima Shema Koleinu is the same chesima like Tfillas Haderech. So let's say you're uneasy at making a tefillah b'shem, I should say. So you get to Kiyat Shemeya, you pause, you say the regular Hiratzain, and you conclude Baruch Atah Hashem Shemeya Tefillah. So you get the same tefillah without saying Hashem Misafri. But the chesaron is that you're not saying it when you're traveling. So I once gave a shir and someone said, but it's not a problem for me. I said, why are you different? Because I daven when I go from Brooklyn to Monsey on the bus, and I say it in Shema Koleinu. I said, Yitzhak Tani, you got me. That's good. That's fine. Okay, I like people that are smarter than I am. But basically say it in davening has a big chasar. So what's the other alternative? You're about to leave. You're not sure if you should say it. Say it like the Mechaber says. Mechaber says if you travel less than a parsa, which you push it, the holidays you pata, say it below chasima. See how the Mechaber didn't want to travel without saying Tfillas Haderech. Even if you vade pata, epis daf mezagin. So people that are afraid to say it before they leave, they say the Yiratzim V'nechi L'Aras Hashem Hashem Baruch Shemei Tefillah. They leave out Baruch Atah Hashem, or they say Baruch Atah Hashem like I said it, Shemei Tefillah. So that's the alternative to B'li Shem. The Yiratzim you're allowed to say. We say it on Rosh Hashanah night. Yiratzim V'nechi Hashem Ekeinu Yeh B'Zchir Yiseinu. All the tefillas you're allowed to say. Now, someone asks which is better. I says, why not say both? Do both. I remind you, they say about a certain Rosh Hashiva, it was a very big pikir. He came to a chasana, and the waiter says, "Sir, what would you like for dinner?" They had a choice. Would you like beef or chicken? So he's alarmed. He goes, "Ich seh nicht kein stira." I don't see a stira in Shema Koleinu or in saying it without Shalom Malchus. So you could say it in both. But I would say one thing. Let me read a lashon of a Chesed Alafim. Chesed Alafim was the Pele Yoyitz. Pele Yoyitz was a gewaldige Kodesh. Now they say when there was a child born in Eretz Yisrael and he didn't have a pinch. At first he knew Kol Torah Kula. He used to pick up a sefer and look at it. Some of them he looked and some he tossed away. Because he knew what was emes. He knew Kol Torah Kula. When he picked up a Pele Yoyitz, he started trembling. Reb Chatzkel heard this. He was very much cherished the Pele Yoyitz because it's a sefer that's Kula Yemes. He wrote another sefer on Shulchan Aruch Chesed Alafim. He says, Kol Adrachim B'Cheskes Hakanah. And if someone doesn't say it, he's Oyvan Divrei Chachamim, Reizah Mischayev B'Nafshei. Now, to say it or not, you could do what you want. But Lipata B'li Klum, I don't advise. Not to say anything is reckless. You could say it in Shema Koleinu, you could say it like Chsima, you could say it Kahoigen. Like what you asked me. I went to Rabbi Yaakov Kamenetsky, I'm in Arshragan, and officially in Ellenville. We went from Arshraga, which it's 10 minutes from Ellenville. We traveled from Arshraga to his doctor in Woodridge. Again, it was maybe a 10-minute drive. He said, Tfillas Haderech regular. Now, the truth is, if Mir Baranovich you say, so why not from Ellenville to Woodridge? Now, of course, it's part of the Catskills and part of New York State and part of this. It's totally a municipality. It's totally in who's the governor, who's the mayor, If you go from here to South Fallsburg. So I don't know why, but the minig oilam is, with most people, Muncie, from Brooklyn you say, Lakewood, and you go from one place to the mountains, the other place you don't say. I don't know who made up that minig, but it seems to be that has, become the minig oilam. But I know this morning, Taka, when I came to give a shir, I said Taka in Shema Koleinu. And I said again, when I pulled out, I said another tefillah. But, for some reason, I'm uneasy to be the first to start saying it any trip in the mountains. But if you go a sizable trip, you go from Brooklyn to Muncie or Lakewood, why not? People ask me, they go jogging along the road. And they go, let's say people that have the stamina, they go 3 miles. So it's pashit when you hike or bike. In the olden days, they used to walk, right? If he jogs 3 miles, why not? But here we could say a shtickle lechap, because today the roads are not sakana because of listed mechayis rois. The sakana is the fact of accidents. So if the person is jogging safely, he's not a mokum accidents. So you wouldn't have to say it. Now, if someone is very courageous and he takes his family, he goes mountain climbing, goes through woods and wilderness and who knows what, and he does it 3 miles, Rabbi should say Tfillas Haderech. Biking, people go biking nice amounts. But again, there's no sakana of of accidents that you wouldn't have to say. Let me just leave you with 2 interesting points.
It's less sakana than going in the car. You're riding with the cars on.
Okay, but the truth is the accidents are not as much with bike. If the biking, the person's going in a sensible place, he doesn't have the kind of accidents. Just 2 more points I wanted to iron out is other means of transportation. So I told you the Min Katch already writes on a car, Avada you have to say. The Mishnah Berurah said beferish on a train you have to say. The Rishonim speak about a boat, and the Rishonim, the Asef Aguda, one of the Rishonim said Avada says Tfillas Haderech, because in those days, maybe they certainly were listim, they were pirates, and the Chayis Rois could have been animals, whatever it is, but Zicha on a boat you say. Now it's interesting, someone asked me, he went on the Staten Island ferry. You take a Chalmoy trip on Staten Island ferry. You say Tfillas Haderech. So I says, it's probably not a parcel. So the Heintig site, you can't say anything anymore. He Googles, from that minute later, excuse me, the ferry is 5.4 miles. Okay, I don't argue with Google, Chas v'sholom. But anyhow, what do? So I told him probably, since you're surrounded on all sides, 3 sides actually, the city on all sides, and if something happens, you're not in any danger in any stretch of the imagination. It's like Toichayir. That's what I would think. But last but not least, I want to just finish, I'll take you to the time, is the question of air travel. Today, Shayares has a new meaning. You fly, people fly. The question is, if you travel by air, do you say Tfillas Haderech? So the emes is, unfortunately, in an airline travel is dangerous. Varaya, many people say goimel when they arrive safely. If you're saying a goimel, then at least Tfillas Haderech. And it's again not a steer. Plus, you have Nabach Listim, they're terrorists. Chayis Rois, if you get a bird flies into the engine, then there's big problems. So it's Gans Mustafa, you should say. Now, wait. Now, I want to say one thing. If let's say you travel from here to JFK, and then you're flying there to Israel, you say it from here, and it's one trip. So that would be the pashtus. There's a Hainu da Amri Inchi, the Vel Zok Tesiber. I don't know, it's not written. The Rogatshava was asked, do you say Tfillas Haderech on a plane? And his response was sort of this. I'm not saying, I'm just maybe embellishing somewhat. He says, Bora Maritz, the Ferish Gemara Chul and Kuf Lametes. Okay, so now, the truth is the Rogatshava, Rabbi Yankov told my shver once, Ich hab a mazel. Alle modern Zachen sagt man in mein Namen. Like Moshe, the Paisik, and I'm the modern. Everything modern. So the Rogatshava had that mazel in a big way. Anything modern, anything very eluish, Rogatshava. The Welt sagt is the Rogatshava, Chul and Kuf Lametes. Was steht in Chul and Kuf Lametes? The Gemara says, it's a hypothetical shayla. There's a mitzvah shluach hakan. You find the kan, shluach the shayla. Frag the Gemara, if someone's flying, I don't know how he flies, but he's flying, and he sees a kan in Shamayim, Dr. Rashi, there's a bird that's carrying a kan. Is there Shluach HaKan? So the Gemara, no. Because the Torah says, Kimotze Kansiba Baderech, and when you're flying, it's not Derech, it's Derech Nesh Ikri. It's a pasuk in, I think it's Yeshaya. So the Rabbi Zev is saying, so if Derech in Shemayim is not Derech, we pass this Tfillas Haderech. That's a very modern mizah. The Tzaddik Rav's brother says, I don't believe he ever said this. Because if it's a lashon of the Torah, kansiba baderech, you can medayik v'yedavar Torah is nitzchias. But a lashon tfilas haderech, meichateis you can medayik azay stark, and also zil basa time. If the reason is sakana, there's no sakana on a plane, and I'll give you a mashal. Imagine you're flying to Eretz Yisrael, and of course you're learning your daf yomi, you're learning lech chavaderech. The fellow next to you, Hamish Yid, he's watching the movies. So you poke him, you say, Rabbi Yid, v'lech chavaderech. He goes, no, derech nesha la yikri derech. He's a big lamdin, but he's if it's totally in derech al sakana, how could you not say? So that's why the Welt says, we don't say the Naya Nusach, which was made from Nishon Unzera, we say the original Nusach. The only question is, when do you say it when you travel on a plane? So Rapam once told me, if you want to be choishes, if the Rabbi ever said it, say it on the runway. Besides the fact that most accidents happen, they say, on the takeoff or landing or takeoff, but besides that, that might still be a derech, and it's a parsa, they fly pretty much, until they take off. The thing is, we should go gesundheit, thank you all for coming, I couldn't talk to him. Yes, Sadik.
The way you spoke to Warapad, you would say to us that? Obviously, yes.
We don't, no.
No?
No. See, in Stott.
What's the hand you said from Ellenville to here?
It's you go through the wilderness. The wilderness.
Surrounded the state.